Guess where Oklahoma Sportscene is this week? That's right, we're at Jimmy's Egg in Broken Arrow here, 71st and Garnett. And we have a special. Let's show us the special. It's Marco, their main chef here. Look at this. This is their special. This is their Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Pancake. Take a look at this. It comes with eggs, bacon, whatever you want, of course, for sides. This is special this month. This is the Reese's Peanut Butter. Oh, my gosh, look at that, Coach.
I'm hungry. Don't put that in front of me. My goodness.
Thank you, Mr. A. Thank you. Appreciate it, Marco. Appreciate it. Jimmy here with Jimmy's Egg. We're ready to start Oklahoma Sportscene, guys. Let's talk about the show lineup. Oral Roberts University basketball featured to start.
I tell you, we'll have Paul Mills and Misty Cousins, the two head basketball coaches at Oral Roberts, and they'll tell us about their program and where they're headed.
JV, a longtime sports figure in Oklahoma, from the University of Central Oklahoma, Edmond. Their athletic director, Eddie Griffin's here.
Well, always a pleasure to visit with Eddie Griffin because the fact that he's been here long enough and he understands athletics from the bottom to the top.
Huge event coming to Tulsa this week, BMX bike racing. Massive.
BMX bike racing is outstanding. What a coup for Tulsa to get the international office here. And this will be the forerunner of a number of national championships that will be run here. Rob Gardner will be our special guest, who is in marketing for BMX.
They'll be racing from Wednesday all the way through Sunday this holiday weekend. Admission is free early in the week, so get out there and enjoy some real BMX bike racing. And, of course, we have to wrap up what was an exciting Oklahoma Prep semifinal segment for the 6A schools.
The 6A1 and 6A2, all northeast Oklahoma, and we'll be talking with those folks hopefully next week when we have them on the air with us. But we'll talk about the Bixby 5 times they've been to the five finalists. We've only had 5 6A2 finals, and they've been there all 5 times. And of course, Stillwater beats Booker T, and they move in against Bixby. And of course, then the Broken Arrow and Jinx. What 2 great games they played to get to the finals. And so 6A1 and 6A2 will be here in Tulsa, in northeast Oklahoma, this weekend.
All right, JV, time to wrap up the past college football weekend. Can Oklahoma play any worse on defense?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Well, I made a statement a while ago, Chris.
Gosh.
When they play West Virginia, my goodness, the score could be in the 70s and 60s. That's it's hard to understand, really.
And this is do or die for the Sooners. They must win Friday night in Morgantown to go to the Big 12 championship. They're trying for their 4th championship in a row, but the challenge there at West Virginia, Oklahoma State did a great job with them.
They did, and what's interesting is Oklahoma State and Oklahoma both are favored this weekend.
Right,
I look at, unfortunately, Oklahoma, unless something in that top 5 would happen that we're not accustomed to right now. I think Oklahoma's stuck at 6, and I think they're stuck at 6 because of the way they play defense.
No doubt about that. And I'll tell you, what a comeback for Oklahoma State. I saw that first half score, West Virginia 31, OSU 14. Oh, here we go. But what a great comeback for the Cowboys.
I thought it was unbelievable, really. And they played as well as they can play. Corn Dog
That's right.
did it again. I mean, when the time you think that young man cannot play quarterback in the Big 12, and he's involved with 6 different touchdowns, running and throwing, what a great afternoon, and what a great afternoon for those seniors at Oklahoma State.
But I understand, too, there was a little bit of fraction that came about between the 2 teams, and it fired Oklahoma State up to the point to where I think they played maybe a little better than they were capable of playing. But I would hope that West Virginia learned something from that.
I think that's a great point, JB. I think that really did motivate Oklahoma State in the second half of that football game.
Oklahoma State came back and won that game 45-41. And now, of course, head to TCU, and that's going to be a tough assignment. TCU has to win to be bowl eligible down in Fort Worth.
And you know that Coach Patterson is going to have that defense ready. Right. What an up and down season for TCU this year. And, to be into the last week to try to qualify for a bowl game, that's going to be tough.
JV, Tulsa falls to 2-9. They lost at Navy 37-29 this past Saturday. And again, so close, so many chances to win for TU.
Well, I'll tell you, you go back over the season, and I've kind of kept a notebook of them. And the fact that we mentioned this before many times at various places, that they have come so close to winning. They have been right on the win line with 10 minutes to go. and then suddenly things go away.
And Mississippi State destroyed Arkansas 52-7 last week. And I know right away Coach Chad Morris said this is completely unacceptable. Unacceptable coaching, unacceptable playing. And I think Razorback fans would agree. Let's look ahead, Coach. This is rival weekend in college football. Some of the great games, great rivalries.
Well, the Ohio State-Michigan game is big. And it has implications, obviously,
sure.
To the playoff committee and how they look at that. But what a classic matchup this always is. And really, just for somebody to predict the score, I don't think you can.
Notre Dame is at USC. We have Alabama and Auburn, and also Washington State, Florida State. Rivalry weekend coming up in college football. All right, guys, let's switch to basketball. Thunder, and first of all, congratulations to the Russell Westbrook family. His wife delivered twin babies, and their little girls' names are Sky and Jordan. So way to go, Russell Westbrook. And I tell you, the Thunder are playing great right now, guys. They've won 10 of their last 11 games.
Would you ever have believed with an 0-4 start that they would go on the run that they've been on and without Westbrook in the lineup?
Yeah.
I think, they have really found the combination of players that they need to have to be able to win in the Western Conference. And I think one of the things that will be a challenge for them is when Russell comes back.
You're right.
To fit in, with that group now, because they're winning without him.
On the road still, they have at Sacramento Kings on Monday the 19th. They're at Golden State on the 21st. Next home game coming up on Friday the 23rd. It'll be against the Charlotte Hornets, and Saturday against the Denver Nuggets. And guys, our Oilers hockey team had another good week. They're in third place in the Mountain Division there.
Hockey, they play really, really well, and of course they got probably the best place in the league to play in and to be okay. And we look forward to them on their next series of games at home.
Yep, Tuesday, November 20th against Wichita, and then they'll go to Wichita on the 21st. Got a big show, a lot of folks I think you're going to enjoy. And start with Paul Mills. He's the head men's basketball coach at Oral Roberts University. He's coming up next on Oklahoma Sportscene. We're here at Jimmy's Egg.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Oklahoma Sportscene wants to welcome our newest title sponsor, SNB Burger Joints, the home of fresh-made gourmet burgers and sliders, great sides, hand-dipped milkshakes, root beer and soda floats, and delicious homemade pies. All served with a fun and friendly staff, and we feature a full-service bar with over 65 beers and our unique Bloody Marys. SNB Burger Joint in the Oklahoma City area and coming soon to Tulsa.
It's November. Oklahoma is 111 years old, and it's my birthday too. So November is Henry's birthday sale. 2018 Mitsubishis have been further reduced. Save up to $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000, or you can have 0% financing for 72 months. Come in this month and receive chances to win $10,000. Nothing to buy, just in time for the holidays. Come visit the all-new Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial by Bixby.
Robertson Tire has been locally owned and serving Tulsa for the past 50 years, but we're much more than a tire shop. We handle alignments, oil changes, brakes, and much more. For all our services, coupons, and location information, visit us online at robertsontire.com.
And welcome back to Jimmy's Egg and Oklahoma Sportscene. You got a nice breakfast burrito and potatoes there on the...
looks really good.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
And our special guest is Paul Mills. He's the men's head basketball coach at Oral Roberts University. Paul, welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene.
Great to be here. Great to be here
Your
at
second
Jimmy's
season,
Egg.
how are you? Give us your background now.
I was coached for the last 24 years as a high school coach in Houston. Coached at Baylor University, Rice University, most recently Baylor University for the last 14 years. And the first year I was there, we won one game. The last year I was there, we were #1 in the country. So I saw the pendulum swing, went to 4 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s. We were top 25 10 years in a row, so had a lot of success. And now in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and enjoy it.
How long is it going to take Oral Roberts to get into that echelon?
Well, fortunately, we won more than one game my first year. But it does take time. I think anytime you pave a road, it takes time. You always have to figure out, are you en route? And I feel like right now we're headed in the right direction.
We're ahead of schedule.
Well, yeah, we've won more than one our initial year.
And Paul, you're bringing in 5 freshmen. Now, not often do you bring in that many, do you?
Yeah, no, not at all. We actually brought in 8 new players, 5 of them being freshmen. And I think during that time, there's a transition of them getting acclimated to high-level college basketball. And there is a learning curve. And so we're taking the time, and we would like them to learn quicker rather than later. But that's what happens with freshmen.
Here's what Scott Drew, the Baylor basketball coach, had to say about Coach Mills here. He said, Coach Mills is a perfect fit for Oral Roberts University. For 14 seasons, he's played a critical role in our success at Baylor. He's won at every level, has been a top high school coach and a prominent major conference assistant, and he will win at ORU. We're going to miss him at Baylor. Most congratulations to ORU on a fantastic hire. What attracted you about this Oral Roberts University job, Paul?
One, when I was at Southern Nazarene University, Oral Roberts was in our conference, and the fact that Oral Roberts University really, really cares about basketball. You see this with Gonzaga, they don't have football. Wichita State doesn't have football. Virginia Commonwealth, very good national programs, and they're committed to basketball being well. Number 2, you're in a great location. And then number 3, you're in a great conference. And I think because of the conference, because of your location, you can really win. And ORU's done it. They've gone to Elite Eights, back to back, NCAA tournaments, 20 NBA draft choices. And so Oral Roberts has a long history. They care about basketball, and we're anxious to get this thing back on track.
What about the conference? What do you look for? You start your conference play before long.
Yeah, the conference is really good. Last year we were 12th in the country. There's 32 conferences in the country. The Summit League was ranked 12th on the men's basketball side. So you're in one of it's considered what's called an elite mid-major and by ESPN. And so you have to have quality players. There's quality teams, but we really feel that with Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, that there's enough players in the southern region in order to win our league. Basketball is a prominent sport in the South, and we're the southernmost school in our league, so we feel great about the level of player we can get in order to win.
From a recruiting standpoint, how important is it to recruit in that regional area for attendance in your program?
Yeah, you want the crowds familiar with players. So we have 2 guys right now from Booker T, Washington, and they attract a lot of attention here locally. And at the same time, parents want to see their children play.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's an adjustment for players during their freshman and sophomore years, and they need the support, but at the same time, they get that support when you recruit locally. So we'll start locally, and we'll kind of expand from there.
Right.
You know, one of the things that I noticed in your game with Cal Baptist out of California was the fact that there were areas of hot and areas of cold. And when you were hot, your kids were playing tremendous. Now, is that a part of the practice? Is that something that's that you're going to have to overcome?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have a young team, they're not used to the lights and all of the things that come. They've never done this before. And if you've got a solution from turning hot and keeping it always hot and keeping cold off, I want to know. But yeah, sometimes guys are making shots and taking quality shots. A lot of it has to do with what kind of shots are you taking. They're not all going to fall, but we do. You find out that when guys are taking quality shots and the team's best shots, more often than not, because of their work ethic, they're going to make them.
And I thought your transition game at points was just perfect. Then at times they were kind of, what are we doing?
Yeah, especially in the first half. I thought we did a great job in the first half getting out in transition. In the second half, not as much. And we addressed that, and I feel good about our ability to run. It's a fun style of basketball, as I shared with the guys on Saturday. This looks a whole lot better getting out and running rather than me playing, because I can go at the same pace that we were in the second half. And so that is part of our game. We would like to get out and run.
Very good. So what's your first conference game?
Our first conference game is at Omaha in Nebraska, so that's a pretty easy trip in regards to a plane ride. It's not too long on a plane, but Omaha, and then we come back and get some home games in order to start conference under our belt after that initial road game.
Next home game, November 23rd, you'll host Northern Illinois, then up to Detroit for the Oakland game the next day.
Yeah, well, we're playing a tournament in Oakland, and so Northern Illinois, Oakland, James Madison are all a part of that. And so we'll eat Thanksgiving dinner really light, so that way we can get out and run and be able to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Coach, before you leave, you got to tell that story about, I know Coach had a really bad car accident earlier this summer, and talk about what went on with that.
Yeah, I was in a head-on car accident, and when it initially happened, I was kind of dazed and looked down, and there's an airbag out, and I knew my car had stopped, and I looked down, and my head was dripping blood, and I just heard a voice that said, "Hey, you've been involved in a car accident. What is your name?" And I looked to my left and I saw my door was shut. And I said, "Man, where is this voice coming from?" And it said, "Hey, you've been involved in a car accident. What's your name?" And I said, "Did I die?" I was wondering if I died. And I thought to myself, like, God's got to get a better system here because he's scaring me. And they said, "This is OnStar. Tell us your name." And I said, "Oh, thank goodness I'm still alive here." But fortunately, a few stitches in the head and I'm okay.
We have something for you, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy Zegg, and there's one close to you. You live in
Yes.
right down Memorial. We would be our guest to go to Jimmy Zegg.
Thank you very much. I'll be delighted
and we
to.
have, here's Nancy Smoot, our general manager at Jimmy Zegg here. How about that, Coach?
Thank you, Nancy.
Cinnamon roll and orange juice. Talk about some of the specials this month. And I was talking about Reese's pancakes.
Yes, we have Reese's pancake special. It comes with an egg, 2 pieces of bacon, and 2 large pancakes. It's a great seller if you like peanut butter cups.
And if you go online, you can eat free, right? Entree.
If you sign up online, your first order is free. You get a free entree. You can order online. It's ready usually in 15 to 30 minutes, and it'll be ready for you when you walk in the door.
And it's always great. Nancy's going to be here throughout our show here and serving. Come on, Coach, dig in there.
Yes, thank you.
She'll be serving dinners to our guests, or breakfast to our guests here. Nancy, thank you so much. We'll be right back with the head women's basketball coach, Oral Roberts University, Misty Cousin, right after this.
Every minute, every day, and every night, there's someone who needs us. Every week and every year, we bring something new to the way we care for individuals and our communities. Every thought and every action is spent improving the way we imagine health and wellness. Because every child, every woman, and every man deserves the best possible life. St. Francis Health System. Healthcare for life.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Back again at Jimmy Zegg for Oklahoma Sportscene, and we're continuing the Oral Roberts University theme with Misty Cousin, the women's head basketball coach. Misty, welcome to Jimmy Zegg. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene.
Bringing all the navy blue to the table today.
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Give us some of your background, Misty.
You know, I'm starting my 23rd year at Oral Roberts this year.
Did you start when you were 10?
I did. Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Good job.
Wow.
Extra good lighting here today. But yeah, my husband Kyle and I both came from Southern Nazarene in 1996, and I came with the new head coach, Jerry Finkbeiner, who took over at Oral Roberts back in 96 and served as the assistant coach under Jerry for 16 years. Kyle coached the women's soccer team there at ORU for 10 years before making the move over to University of Tulsa the last 11 or 12.
Done a great job, too.
So then I've taken over as the head coach for the last 7.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, the girls basketball in high school in the state of Oklahoma has always been really, really good.
Yes, sir.
Does that make it easier for you to recruit?
Well, I think it does. And I know you all talked with Paul about this a little bit earlier, too. We kind of always joke that our roster is 85% Okies and 15% international. And, and I think that's really important at the mid-major level, too, because you want your local fans and family members and people here in the local community to be able to get behind your players. And, we've had some great All-American quality Oklahoma high school girls come through our program. Kevy Looper out of Adair several years ago, JC Bigham, who's now JC Edmond and on my coaching staff. But there's just so much talent here in this part of the country, especially in Oklahoma. And I'm a product of Oklahoma high school basketball, and I played for a Hall of Fame high school coach. And so I'm absolutely certain that some of the top recruits that we can get at a mid-major women's program are right here in the state.
Misty, when you go back and you played back in, let's say, the last century.
Okay.
That sounds like it's a long time, but really it isn't. But I remember when you were on the All-State team.
Yes.
And Charles Haley was one of the great contributors to girls basketball.
Absolutely.
We lost him recently.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'd like to hear your comments about him and what has happened in girls basketball from the last century to the present.
Well, I think, growing up, I'm an El Reno, Oklahoma product, graduated in '89. But, I can even remember, even in my elementary and junior high years, there were 2 or 3 girls basketball camps that if you were serious about being a girls basketball player, you made it to those camps in the summer, and with Charles's being one of them. The Lindsay All-Star Camp is where you went, with girls basketball. The other one was the Dale OBU camp that Harold Jones from Dale High School ran for years as well. And I always feel privileged. One of the things that I think Sherry Cole does down at the University of Oklahoma, I'll plug OU for a second, but Sherry is always so plugged into the history of our girls basketball here in the state, having been a high school coach as well. And I felt like I was a beneficiary of some great high school girls coaching as well. So we have these legends. And then I played for an amazing man who coached at Western Heights for years, Jack Carter. And he was also my summer coach from Western Heights. And Jack brought Oklahoma to a level with summer basketball with his Oklahoma Flyers program. We won the first Oklahoma Girls National Championship the summer before my junior year in high school. So all of these amazing mentors and the Bertha Teague Classic, and all these special places that are little pockets of girls basketball here in the state of Oklahoma. It's more than just great basketball, but it's history and it's quality history that we're proud to represent as well.
Last season, 4th in the Summer League. They went to the postseason, went all the way through the semifinals. They had a great run.
We did. I think we'll finish in the top 2 or 3 this year in the Summit League, and we're off to a difficult start this year just because we've been at number 13 Iowa. We played at a much improved Kansas team this last week. We'll still see Arkansas next week. We'll see Oklahoma State right before the Christmas break.
Wow.
We definitely always make it a goal to be a giant killer, in our non-conference schedule because, and Paul talked about this earlier, but we're the number 10th ranked women's basketball conference in the nation in the Summit League, and so that's a high level with Paul used the term elite mid-major, but that's where we're competing in January and February, and we want to make sure we're ready for that.
Tell us a little about Lee Mayberry.
He's awful. He's the worst. I can't believe we hired him. He is a joy. Obviously we've had Talia, the oldest, who's a TU graduate, got her grad assistance degree at ORU. Kaylin, the next one, played for us her whole career. She's an ORU alum now. Maya is currently in her 2nd year for us. And so we've had so many Mayberries already. We're like, let's take Dad. And Lee has been a phenomenal addition. Obviously, such playing experience. And he's coached tons of basketball in the summer, has coached all of his girls growing up, too. I'm just happy to have somebody on my staff that's got some gray hair like I do. So I've enjoyed that as well. But for everything that Lee was to Northeast Oklahoma as a player, he's even a better person than he was a basketball player.
Oh, he's a great guy.
We're thrilled to have him.
We put him in our Hall of Fame here about 2 years ago.
Yes.
Rogers High School.
Rogers High School,
my old high school.
That's right,
But does having the Tournament of Champions at Oral Roberts, do you think that gives you an advantage?
Well, it sure makes recruiting easy for me a lot of times. I'm like, well, let me go to the office today and see some great recruits coming through. It's definitely a point of pride for a lot of our high school programs that get the opportunity to not only be invited, but get to participate in it. And especially for our 5A and 6A programs that come through, they're trying to get back to the Mabee Center Court for the state tournament just a couple of months later. But we love it. We love having it.
I remember we had a student athlete advisory committee meeting one day, and we asked the seniors what was the highlight of their career. And the one young lady said, my gosh, It couldn't get any better than this. We played in the Tournament of Champions at the Maybe Center. We played in the BOK Classic down at BOK. And I played in the state tournament back at the Maybe Center.
Yes.
So it's a great venue.
Yeah,
I think tremendous venue.
The dates of the tournament again this year, Coach?
27, 28, 29 of December at
Oral
Roberts Maybe Center.
And we have something from Misty here for joining us this morning.
I guarantee you, Misty, you'll love Jimmy's Egg, and it's a lot better when it doesn't cost you.
This is a family favorite for ours, so we'll put it to you.
Nancy Smoot again.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, of course, you also have, I know, a light menu, which we don't care about. But
no.
I know some of these things here. Oatmeal, berry sundae, spinach and mushroom, egg white omelet. I got fruit, of course, Missy's enjoying.
If you blow it over Thanksgiving, you can still come into Jimmy's Egg over the weekend and eat some of our lighter menu items.
What we appreciate, 55-plus menu here.
Excellent.
We like that very much. Thank you so much for that, Nancy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Misty, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen. We sure appreciate it.
Good luck. And when's your next home game?
We are home tomorrow night. We've got UMKC, and then we're on the road on Saturday after Thanksgiving down at Texas State and San Marcos. So we've got a couple of this week.
Well, come on out and support the Golden Eagles. And, Coach, you always talk about that, too. It's a great venue, the Maybe Center.
It is.
Incredible.
It is. It's so comfortable at the Maybe Center. If the game gets boring, you'll have a nice nap.
It won't be boring.
It's so comfy.
Thank you, Misty. Misty Cousin, our guest here. We have another special guest coming up from the other side of the state. UCO's Eddie Griffin, a real legend in Oklahoma coaching and now athletic director over there. He'll be joining us next on Oklahoma Sportscene.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene here at Jimmy's Egg at 71st and Garnett. And we have a special guest who came over from the Oklahoma City area today, actually Edmond, an old friend of mine and a colleague in athletic administration, Eddie Griffin. Eddie, welcome to Sportscene.
Thanks, yeah, glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your background, Eddie.
I'm old.
You're an old wrestling coach, right?
Old wrestling coach,
right.
Yeah. I'm back at the UCO now. I was a wrestling coach there for a few years, and then went to Clemson after that, and then came back as athletic director. And I know what Gil's done there at Tulsa as the athletic director of Oklahoma City Public Schools. And then I followed Gil at the Northeastern, and that was easy to take care of what he was doing. So, and then had the opportunity to move on to the president of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. Did that for about 8 years, and now I've been at UCO for a year.
You know, I would say you're honest, Eddie. You're not old, you're just honest. But as we look at wrestling today in high school, it seems to me like that it is coming back stronger than it was a few years ago. As you look at it from an athletic directorship at a college, how do you look and see it?
Yeah, that's one of the things to talk with our coaches about, and our wrestling program's really doing good. They've turned it around a little bit. Part of it's the culture and the environment that you have in wrestling, but in Oklahoma, I've lost a lot of wrestling coaches. Need to get some more wrestling coaches back in the high schools and even junior highs. And we're working on some programs to do that possibly and get some of these young men move into education instead of doing other things.
Well, you know, you got a great head coach, Todd Steidley. Todd Steidley was one of our Union boys. Tell a story about Todd Steidley. He wanted to be a football player. And I saw him actually gain 242 yards in a football game at Union one night. Goes to Utah State for 1 year, comes back and says, I don't like it. And went to UCO and became an All-American there. And Todd's a great young man.
Yeah.
You know, here's something I would really like to get your opinion on. It seems like the growth of women wrestling is increasing and down to the high school level. Are we going to have girls wrestling?
I don't know if we'll have it at UCO or not. I hadn't had that discussion at all, but that's a little different than what you're used to.
Well, they say from the OSSA standpoint that is an emerging sport across the country, maybe in the top 2 or 3. The one that really gets me is the e-sport. I'm not ready for that. And I know our old school has an e-sport collegiate team.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, with wrestling with women, I mean, I'm kind of like Gil. You know, kids at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they need to be doing something. If not, they're going to be on the streets. But if it's women's wrestling, they want to get involved in something. That'd be great.
I want to go back to your Broncos career as the head coach there. I mean, what a NAIA 3 national championships you had there, Eddie, and I have 26 All-Americans, 11 national champions. You guys had a heck of a program there with the Broncos.
We did. We had some great kids there, and the thing is, with all those kids, they seem to come back and support wrestling, and Todd Stiley's doing a great job as a wrestling coach.
Talk about your facilities now at Edmond. It's just amazing to me how that campus is really blowing up there.
Yeah, right now we've got a little over $25 million worth of facilities going on. We just completed the Sports Performance Center, which houses an academic center. Just hired the academic director of athletics for academics to take care of study halls and computer labs and work with our tutors on campus and those kind of things. The Stampede Club, we've got a 120-seat theater. It's one of the wow factors when you walk through there. It's then out on the deck. We have a deck that oversees the football stadium. That's all on the 3rd floor. 2nd floor is all administrative offices and football offices and those in a cardio room. And then the 1st floor is the state-of-the-art strength and conditioning with football locker rooms and we have a great, huge training facility for our student athletes.
Eddie, isn't that the case, though? You know, I saw this during the 20 years that I was at the collegiate level, that there is an arms race, and you have to have what everybody else has to be able to recruit the quality student athlete.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, the conference that we're in, the MIAA, is very, very tough, and all of them are making headway in a lot of facilities. This is the first new athletic facilities in 50 years at UCO. So.
He had 2 national team titles, right, when you were a wrestler at Oklahoma State University, right? From Grant High School?
Well, I was on the team, yeah.
You were part of that team, so yeah. Talk about those days, the U.S. Grant and then on to Oklahoma State.
Well, U.S. Grant was a great place to be back in the 60s, and or late, I want to say late 60s.
Thank you.
But no, I had the opportunity to go to Oklahoma State. Myron Roderick was great to me, and had a great relationship with Myron over all these years. And actually, Myron's the one who helped me get my first job at Ardmore High School. And then when the Clemson position came open, he helped me get the job at Clemson. So,
you're overlooking 14 sports at the University at Edmond. How much of a problem is that trying to satisfy all of them?
JV, you have good insight. No, we've got a great bunch of coaches. The coaches that I came in and that was there all do a great job, all professional, hardworking guys. My administrative staff, I call them the A-team. They're hard workers, and they just work hard and get things done. And it's kind of a group effort, and everybody pitches in and just helps. And that's we've got almost 500 kids on campus in athletics, and 150, 160 events a year. All of our administrative staff is pretty stretched.
Eddie Griffin, the athletic director at the University of Central Oklahoma, UCO in Edmond. Congratulations on a good football season. Talk about your football team and going to a bowl game.
They are. We're going to the Champs Heart of Texas Bowl in Waco and play Angelo State coming up December 1st. Coach Bobick there, Nick Bobick, has done a great job with kids. I think he's building that program, and there's some good things happening there.
Angelo State's an old Lone Star opponent for years and years, you bet.
Yeah.
That should be a heck of a football game.
We're looking forward to playing them, yes.
I bet so.
I congratulate you on your work, too, in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. And I tell you, that is a great organization there. Gil and Jimmy and I have been up there and involved with that and stuff. And they really, it's amazing how this small state, Eddie, the quality of athletes it produces.
It's amazing with the legacies and the legends in Oklahoma. From Mickey Mantle to you can go as far back to all those guys, Warren Spahn, and just a lot of great people in Oklahoma. But that was one of the things, I had a great opportunity to meet all those guys or a lot of people, and most of them are humble, and you wouldn't even know who they are.
What's the future look like for UCO athletics?
I think great. I think we're sitting there looking with the new facilities coming on board. The energy and the excitement has risen a lot because of the new facilities. I think when we're building a state-of-the-art wrestling facility, onto Hamilton. All locker room for all of our sports, a new auxiliary gym to go along with what we're doing there. A new baseball facility for locker rooms, and we've got the artificial turf down, put lights on soccer, softball, and baseball. That just got that completed, so we're making a lot of headway there.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, thanks for coming over today.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to Jimmy's Egg.
Jimmy Eggs is great.
A lot of those in Oklahoma City as well, right?
They are.
Over there too. Very good, sir.
Well, thank you guys.
We have Nancy Sue coming in here, our general manager. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love this.
My goodness.
What,
That's
Nancy,
a carnitas skillet.
tell us what's in there now.
It has pork, tomatoes, bacon, cheese, onions.
Get your fork, Coach, jump in. And this
That's right on your diet.
What's your cinnamon roll
This is good for our
pancakes?
first
Cinnamon
course.
pancakes. Our crew finished with this last time we were here, and they love that stuff. Thank you, Nancy, very much. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you, Nancy.
Well, go ahead and enjoy that, Coach.
We'll do that.
All right. Another special guest on Oklahoma Sportscene. Stay with us here, and we're enjoying breakfast at Jimmy's Egg, 71st and Garnett. Oklahoma Sportscene wants to welcome our newest title sponsor, SNB Burger Joints, the home of fresh-made gourmet burgers and sliders, great sides, hand-dipped milkshakes, root beer and soda floats, and delicious homemade pies. All served with a fun and friendly staff, and we feature a full-service bar with over 65 beers and our unique Bloody Marys. SNB Burger Joint in the Oklahoma City area and coming soon to Tulsa.
There is no limit to what we will do to help the next generation. As Oklahoma's only affiliate of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we are able to deliver state-of-the-art treatment and the most innovative clinical trials to kids with cancer and blood disorders. This is truly world-class care, right here at home. The St. Jude Affiliate Clinic at the Children's Hospital at St. Francis. Healthcare for life.
Ditch Witch, 5 words or less. Making the impossible possible.
Technology you can't live without.
Most versatile equipment ever made.
Customer service and support. Reliable, productive, ground chewing machines. We're in this together.
Well, you know about Jimmy's Egg for breakfast and lunch, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., but you got to try these, Coach. This is the new iced coffee. Take a sip of this, Coach.
I'll take a sip of this.
This is the new cinnamon roll iced coffee. They've also got a chocolate fudge, an original, and
really
a special toasted marshmallow.
Well, I didn't get
iced
one.
coffees, there's $2.99 here at Jimmy's Egg.
I'll get you another straw.
Back to the Sports Scene Show. Glad to welcome in Rob Gardenhire. He is with BMX, and they're about to be big in this Tulsa area, and a big event coming up this week. Talk about that, Rob.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have the world's largest BMX race at the Expo Square this Thanksgiving weekend. So we've got families from all over the country driving in right now. A lot of our staff arrived yesterday, and we've already started building the track and hanging banners. So we'll have about 3,500 to 4,000 riders from, again, all over the world. We'll have almost all 50 states represented, over 20 countries racing for the title of number one in the USA BMX.
And the times, the hours, and admission is?
Admission is free.
Wow.
So all day Thursday we have practice, so you're welcome to come out on Thanksgiving if you're wanting to burn off some calories and not watch the football games. But then Friday we actually start our racing. It starts at 7 a.m. on Friday in our Race of Champions all night till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Friday. That is free. Saturday is free all day until 6 o'clock when we have our Pro Spectacular. So if you really want to come out, see the best racers in the world, come out at 6 o'clock to the fairgrounds. It's only $10 there at the ticket booth. And then Sunday again, we're all day. So we run almost 700 races a day starting on Friday. So
how long does it take to set up the arena for that type of activity?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've had our track team is been here already. They started the lower level, building that track. So we've got a couple of the turns built, a couple of the straightaways, and we had to take a break for a Fair of the Heart. So all in all, I think it's going to be 6 or 7 days total, but we'll have it Wednesday night. We'll put the finishing touches on it, have it all raked up and looking beautiful for the Grands this weekend.
Rob, did you expect the BMX to grow like it has here in Tulsa when they came?
No, I think that and that's, another little known fact. We've been in Tulsa for 21 years. This is our 21st consecutive running of the Grands here. The Olympics in 2008, we are an Olympic sport, so that helped start the growth. And then once we announced in 2016 that we were going to move our corporate headquarters here, our national track, as well as our Hall of Fame, we've already seen a growth. We've got another track coming on board, in northeast Oklahoma. Yukon has a track. We'll have a track. So we'll have 4 tracks here by the time ours gets built in Oklahoma. So that doubles the track count. Hopefully we'll see some more too.
Talk about the facilities that are going to be built here. I know
Sure.
it even includes a Hall of Fame museum itself, and construction is supposed to be getting underway, right?
It is. We have a very aggressive construction timeline. We're going to be building our corporate headquarters, our Hall of Fame and museum, as well as looking at a training facility. Still in the design phase, so it fluctuates a little bit. But yeah, we're ramping up and hoping to be awarded the Olympic trials in 2020.
What economic impact will this make on Tulsa's economy?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have over 100,000. Really, it's sports tourism. So we'll have over 100,000 visitors a year come through here for the events that we'll have. The Grands alone this weekend is, I've been told, is north of $25 million economic impact. 14,000 room nights. I mean, it's a huge event. When you bring in that many people for these events. So we'll host, 4 to 6 events at our new facility. The Grands will stay where it is at the Expo Square because it's so big. We have to have that great space that the Tulsa State Fairgrounds has.
You have something for Rob here, right?
I sure do, Rob.
Uh-oh.
If you get any time off this weekend, stop by Jimmy's Egg.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And again, give us real quickly the schedule again this week.
Yeah, so practice on Thursday all day, and then the Race of Champions on Friday. The Grand Nationals begin Saturday with our Pro Spectacular Saturday night, and then the Grands continue and wrap up on Sunday. So,
and the goal is to have BMX headquarters, museum, everything here by the end of next year, 2019.
That's the expedited timeline. Yeah, for sure. We're pushing for it.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
BMX bikes is going to be very big for the city of Tulsa, this whole area here. Back with more Oklahoma Sports Scene right after this break.
It's November. Oklahoma is 111 years old, and it's my birthday too. So November is Henry's birthday sale. 2018 Mitsubishis have been further reduced. Save up to $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000, or you can have 0% financing for 72 months. Come in this month and receive chances to win $10,000. Nothing to buy, just in time for the holidays. Come visit the all-new Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial by Bixby.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Bound Derrick, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're here at Jimmy's Egg, 71st and Garnett. And I guarantee you, when you come to Jimmy's Egg, you never know who you may run into. We have Steve Dunlap over here.
Steve?
Associate Director of Athletics at the Union Public Schools. And of course, he's having breakfast with Eddie Griffin, who's one of our guests, and Rob Gardenhauer, who's another one of our guests. So, like I say, you never know who you may run into.
And he has a smile on his face. That can't be easy after that semifinal loss to Jenks.
No, that's a good food here at Jimmy's Egg.
Wow, I'll tell you. So. Well, what a tough semifinal that was, huh? What a game.
I tell you what, to be able to lose in the last minute of the game, when you go to the state championship, it's always one of those things, Chris. It's so difficult to handle, and the kids work so long for so hard, and they get to that point in your career where you got one shot at it, and that's it,
I did the play-by-play on that game for KRMG Radio here in Tulsa, and just amazing. I mean, Union took the lead with 20 seconds left. I mean, the game's over, right? not Union Jenks. They had an 70-yard pass down to the 2-yard line, scored as time ran out. Hernandez took it in from 1 yard out to win the game. Union lost to Jenks 27-24. Jenks goes on now to play Broken Arrow in the championship finals on November 30th.
And would you have thought that Owasso would have played as well against Broken Arrow? Broken Arrow had averaged a double-digit score differential all year long. So
unbelievable. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights of our Broken Arrow and Jenks, the classic matchup between these two great rivals. Our man Thomas Walkingstick was there with his camera to capture some of the color and excitement of one of the great college high school football games. State semifinal 6A1 here in Tulsa. What a game again. It was Jenks winning the last second of play there, 27-24 over Union to advance to the championship game, November 30th, 7 p.m. at Chapman Stadium. And they will play Broken Arrow. It wasn't easy for the Tigers, as you mentioned, Coach.
It was not easy. They had to really grab deep down to get where they are. But, one of the things we talk about is that when you have not been that far in the playoffs for a long time, those kids have not experienced that. And, of course, to be able to win, I think it puts them in a good position for the finals.
Had to be proud of Owasso, the defending state champions. Bill Blankenship's group really battled them, didn't they? 10-0 the final score there. Broken Arrow winning, and no points till the fourth quarter.
Played well, and, of course, the other thing, in the other half, the 6A2.
Right, we were there for the Stillwater game.
It's almost all east side because Stillwater is east of I-35. So when you look at it, and of course that Bixby, Bixby's been involved with all 5 of the 6A2s that have been originated 5 years ago. So Booker T played pretty well, but Stillwater, Gunnar Gundy had a great game, and what a breakout session. The individual, the receiver, who had only caught 2 touchdown passes all year, caught 3 in that game. So, and of course, it'll be a Bixby Stillwater, and that game will be back at Owasso at 7 o'clock on November the 30th, 7 o'clock kick. And of course, the 6A1 will be at Chapman Stadium, on Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Stillwater 38, Booker T. Washington 28 was the final there. But let's go back again to that incredible battle between the number 1 team in the state, Broken Arrow, and Owasso. And our guy Trevor McDaniel was there to capture some of the excitement of that contest.
what a great game. And, of course, that defense that Broken Arrow's had all year long came up in the fourth quarter and made the difference. I think Owassa schemed well to get themselves in that position, Coach Blankenship and his staff. But Coach Alexander and those student athletes that they have in Broken Arrow made the difference, I think.
Coach, something like high school football, semifinal, state final time is really exciting time of year.
Well, anytime you have the 4 single A that we had, with, how could you get any better than that? They couldn't in the western part of the state.
And Bixby's had a heck of a football season too, Coach.
Bixby returns, like I said, they've been in all 5 championship games. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes out with Stillwater, because Stillwater did throw the ball really well, against Booker T. So it'll be an interesting 2 days of 6A football in Northeast Oklahoma.
Looking forward to that. Let's go over to the western side of the state now to Remington Park. And Dale Day has our Remington Park Thoroughbred Race Report.
The $70,000 Silver Goblin Stakes was the final older sprint event for Oklahoma breds of the season at Remington Park. It took place on Friday, November 16th. Welder, attempting his 4th stakes win of the season, was the heavy favorite in the 6.5 furlong event. Quarter mile to go, and Shannon C. is let sail up front now by a little more of the length, switching out off the rail. Here comes Welder, and the switch out works. Welder gaining ground and going by. Welder now on the lead inside the furlong pole, and David Cabrera just asked and he responded. Welder cruising on here, out by 5 and widening. He'll win the Silver Goblin for a 2nd consecutive year and his 4th straight stakes win of this season. Welder on top by 7. Welder's talent was able to overcome Shannon C. and pull clear to a 6 1/4 length victory, but he had to work a little to get away from his main rival, according to jockey David Cabrera.
I tell you what, Floyd, he put a pretty good ride on me. I was like, man, he had me confused for quite a bit. But Welder, he just carried me there. He's a very smart horse, and he did the same. He just put himself in a position. He feel like once that other horse took off from me, he said, "You don't want to be on the inside." I let him go to the outside, and he's like, "All right, let's go now." Welder wins his 4th straight stakes race of the season and is now the heavy favorite to be named the horse of the meeting for the 2018 Remington Park season. He also scores the Silver Goblin Stakes for a 2nd consecutive year. Shannon C. was 2nd in the race, with Rockport Cat 3rd. A quick schedule reminder here at Remington Park: no live racing on Wednesday, November 21st or on Thanksgiving. Special Black Friday racing on November 23rd takes place at 3 p.m. Normal racing at 7 p.m. on Saturday, November 24th. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Back to Sports Scene.
When we come back to Jimmy Zaig's Oklahoma Sports Scene, we'll have our parting shot, so stay with us.
It's November. Oklahoma is 111 years old, and it's my birthday too. So November is Henry's birthday sale. 2018 Mitsubishis have been further reduced. Save up to $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000, or you can have 0% financing for 72 months. Come in this month and receive chances to win $10,000. Nothing to buy, just in time for the holidays. Come visit the all-new Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial by Bixby.
2 Triple Crowns in the last 4 years have reawakened America to the magnificent thoroughbred. And now, we've got our own triple to celebrate. 3 decades of excitement. And it's not too late for you to get in on the action. Plan your holiday party or any event you like at Remington, and we'll make sure it's chock full of mouth-watering food, drinks that hit the spot, and all the casino and racing action you can handle. Remington's 30th, thoroughly thrilling.
What we see isn't always what we get. A smile can hide 100 struggles. Depression, anxiety, addiction, and eating disorders affect more people than you realize. People you know. At Laureate Psychiatric Clinic and Hospital, we offer a wide range of inpatient and outpatient services to help anyone with any degree or form of mental illness. Laureate and St. Francis. Healthcare for life.
It's time for parting shots, and Coach Gil Cloud leads us off.
My parting shot today basically is to say thank you to everyone who has helped us this year with this show. To be able to put together a sports show on a weekly basis, our sponsors, our title sponsors, we thank them. I want to thank all of the student athletes, both at the collegiate level and the high school level, that play every week so we can have something to talk about. All those coaches and administrators that are involved with those programs and have made a commitment for those programs. We're excited to get into this next year, the 2019 year, and I think it's going to be one of those that we'll be really excited about because everything is going to get better as we move into another era. So thank you very much for supporting this show and supporting high school and collegiate athletics.
My parting shot is very prejudiced, and I want to admit that up in front. And that is because of high school athletics, where my life has come from. And I'd like to encourage all of you to support the fall programs as they come to a close, and then start looking at the winter sports for both boys and girls. But be a part of supporting these young men and young women as they perform in some form of athletics. I think if you do that, you will be very, very proud of yourself. And as you watch them grow, mature, and go on into college, then you're even going to be more prouder of them. So do that and support the high school kids as they continue.
Oklahoma State lost one of their real legends, their longtime sports innovation director, Pat Quinn. Pat is a guy that I knew and worked with back in the 70s and 80s, and an absolute legend in the sports innovation business. He's a Hall of Fame member of that group. But Pat Quinn served Oklahoma State University from 1957 to 1987. He went through 6 football coaches, all the way back to Phil Cutchin, and then through Pat Jones. Pat was known also for technology. One of the first Oklahoma State was, as sports innovation offices, to have use of a computer and get things started more on the technology side of things. But Pat Quinn was also known for having the best football guide in America. He used to have these big books with all the information. Pat had a little thing you put right inside your coat pocket. And the best thing about it was he always had a nice OSU co-ed smiling at us as well. Pat Quinn, an absolute legend. We're going to miss him. He died on November the 10th, just 3 days shy of his 90th birthday. All right, Coach, let's talk about looking ahead to the next shows and stuff here. We got some good ones coming up here. And, of course, the big thing, we're looking forward to state football championships.
Football championships, and, of course, we'll have Jacob Umru from the Daily Oklahoman who can give us the West Side perspective.
Henry Primo's back with some of his memorabilia. It's always fun to have in JV.
I'm sorry, I missed you.
I said JV, having memorabilia from Henry Primo is always fun on the show.
Well, anytime that Henry Primo comes, then I think you're going to be excited and you're going to really be proud of what he talks about. I like Henry Primo.
You got a friend of yours coming that really kind of interesting guest.
Very interesting. Dave Walker, who spent 36 years with the Tulsa Police Department and the last few years as the lead detective in the homicide division, has started a mentoring program using baseball. And we're going to have Dave Walker on, and I think he'll be very, very interesting to see how he's going to approach this.
We also have some key college football games to talk about, of course. With Oklahoma, it's a do or die. They had to be West Virginia to go on to the Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State down at TCU.
And I understand that Oklahoma State and Oklahoma are favored this weekend. So It should be interesting on that point differential.
And hope you'll get out also, JV, to support our University of Tulsa, their final home game, 2:30 against SMU at Chapman Stadium on Saturday. Military Appreciation Day, a day to say goodbye to 19 seniors.
Well, I'm telling you for sure, they really need the support. And when you look at what happened to TU throughout the course of the year, they were close to maybe having won 7 or 8 games.
Tough one for TU, but get out there and support TU. Again, it's a Military Appreciation Day for the University of Tulsa, and if you have a unwrapped new toy, they'll give you a free admission for that, as they're going to be, of course, spreading those toys out for the kids for the holiday season. Hey, thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sportscene. You guys ready to eat breakfast?
I'm ready. I'm hungry.
We're starving. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, Oklahoma Sportscene.